VA disability is included in income for child support purposes in most states. In Tennessee it is, and every state I'm aware of it is. I have argued vehemently that it should not be because there are certain other disability payments that are not included in income for child support purposes. Here's the real kicker. VA disability benefits are tax-free. In other words, you don't pay taxes on those, but the child support guidelines, at least in Tennessee, assume that all income is taxable. So when you have a form of income that's not taxable, technically the court can add an amount to that on top of it to even increase it more based on the fact that it's not taxed and you're receiving more than you would be if it were taxed. Kind of crazy, but that's the law in Tennessee, as it is in a lot of places. So yeah, it's included in income for child support purposes, at least in Tennessee it is. Something happened this weekend that made me madder than I've been in a long time. I represent the father of a 3-year-old little boy. The father happens to be in the United States Army stationed down in Texas. Well, he and the mom were living down there together until about 6 months ago when they got crossways. Mom moves back to Tennessee, where they're both from, and takes the little boy with him. Well, Dad's about to be deployed. He's going to be overseas for at least the next 9 months, probably longer. So he wants to see his son. Hadn't seen him in 6 months since they left Texas. Well, he calls me up. I call the other lawyer up. We work it out to where Dad's going to get up here about 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon, pick his son up, have his son until 6 on Sunday. Then he's going to head back and then go overseas. Well, he gets here Saturday afternoon about 3 o'clock, goes to the door, kisses his little boy, talks to his little boy, gets him reacclimated to him, then asks Mom, hey, I need to get the car seat. Can I have it, please? She says, no. He said, what are you talking about? She says, get your own damn car seat. That's mine. What are you talking about? He said, I paid for it. It came out of my money. She said, I don't care. Get your own car seat if you want to see our son. He had to go to Walmart, lose about 2 hours of time with his son, buy a car seat, come back, pick his son up, and spend the rest of the time with his son. He was mad. I was mad. I called the other lawyer up and let him have it. What do you think about that? If my client wasn't going to be deployed, I'd probably file something in court Monday morning and try to get him custody of the little boy. What do you think about her behavior? That's correct. It would change over time. So does your income. It changes over time. Every year you get an increase in pay, depending on your years of service, or you get an increase in rank, which will also increase your pay. BAH changes as well. BAS hadn't changed in a while. It's been about the same. So that is one thing that seems to be fairly stationary. Here's kind of a horror story I had, though. I represented a lieutenant commander who had just relocated to Tennessee from California. His BAH in California was somewhere around $3,900, and his BAH in Tennessee was going to be $1,500. Well, before that change became effective, he had a hearing on child support. And fortunately, the judge that we had the case before was a former JAG officer in the military and understood that BAH was not going to be the same as it was on his last LES. So that's kind of saved the day there. But you got to be careful about that. That's a very good question. The answer is yes. When you receive BAH, when you're using your GI Bill, that is included in income for child support purposes. What you have to be careful of is when something like that happens, when you receive BAH for using the GI Bill for GI Bill housing, you can either keep your mouth shut or you can go back to court and have the court increase your child support. Which option are you going to choose? Well, if your ex or the mother of your child knows that that's what you're doing, that you're getting BAH, then she would go back to court and ask for an increase. And so that would give it an increase. But you really got to be careful because anytime your BAH changes significantly, you have the burden to go back to court to modify that child support if it's going to result in a decrease. Of course, if it's going to result in an increase, then your ex or the mother of your child would have to do that. John had been serving in the United States Army for over 17 years. He had been in the Special Forces most of that time. He was on track to retire at year 20 if he wanted to. Probably could serve longer if he wanted to. Well, one night he came home and he and his wife got into a little argument. That little argument escalated, became physical. According to John, she came at him, began to hit him, slap him, push him. He grabbed her arms to kind of calm her down and kind of pushed her back, and when he did, she fell backwards. Police were called. They arrested John. They took him downtown, booked him, processed him. He got out the next day and they dropped those charges. The problem for John was that she pursued an order of protection. She claimed he was the primary aggressor. and she was just defending herself. She won that order of protection. That ended John's military career, because when you're under an order of protection, you can no longer possess a firearm. And if you can't possess a firearm, you can't defend your country. He was discharged honorably from the United States Army, never got to retire.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing